نمشيو دابا يعني almost the last part في هذا الوركشوب which is testimonies. غنشوفوا كما قلنا people that I invited personally and the Engleasy Peasy يعني خدامين في Engleasy Peasy براسهم، وغادي يعطيوكم الآراء ديالهم وجهة النظر ديالهم على هاد الجورني ديالكم كستودنتس ملي كتبداو ملي كتسالي ان شاء الله. غنحاولوا نسولوهم اسئله as follows. First, what's the thing you wished you knew first as a first year student؟ الا كنتي في لافاك العام الاول شنو هما الحوايج اللي كنتي باغي تعرفهم، بحال دوك الاسرار ديال النجاح اللي قلنا قبل. ثاني سؤال، what's the most precious thing that you got from your journey؟ شنو هما اكثر حاجه يعني that is precious that you got from your journey زعما في لافاك. a word of advice يعني كلمه ديال شي advice a piece of advice تكون غير كلمه واحده ولا جمله it's okay. and final thoughts and reflections. So these professors, these students, so EMA students and previous teachers and so on, will share with you their own experiences in hopes to make it even more rich inshallah. And make sure to stay and watch the last part اللي هي ال Q&A اللي غتسولوا فيها الأسئلة ديالكم، ولا يمكن لكم تمشيو للصفحة ديالنا عبر انستغرام ولا فيسبوك and then you can ask questions there or you can just text us via email. That's it, and I leave the mic and the floor to you.
Hello everyone. I would love to thank you all for your attention, for your attendance in this workshop. I am Adil Itlabez. I'm a teacher of English. I've been teaching English for 5 years now, almost 5 years, in language centers for high school, middle school, and university students as well. I got my BA in English Studies, and yeah, as Salah-Eddine said, it's something that you will not regret, actually. There are lots of potential and like future to this field of English Studies, depending on your preferences and your potential as well. Anyway, I'll start by addressing the first question. What's the thing you wish you knew as a first-year student? Well, as a first-year student, I wished I knew some people. It's not something I don't know. I don't have anything in mind now that has to do with things, but I wished I knew some people. Salah-Eddine among those people. By the way, he helped me a lot along the journey. I didn't have the chance to know him alongside other teachers and students at the first year, but it's not a problem. That's the first thing. The second thing, what's the most precious thing you got from your journey? I would definitely say the people, the networking. It's something that you actually everyone needs to work on. The networking is actually the best thing you can all get from journeys, no matter which journey we're talking about. Networking is the best. People that will push you forward, that will help you accomplish things, that will motivate you, that will have a positive impact on you and your performance. That's it. That's the most precious thing we've got. And also alongside the knowledge we got from the professors, the respected professors, as Salah-Eddine said, the professors are really good. Most of them are really good. You will not find it difficult, or you will not find a problem dealing with these professors as long as you're a good student. Now, a word of advice. Well, actually Salah said it all, but I will just like add some pressure to you guys need to work really hard in the faculty, because the problem with the faculty is that it's somewhere that no one will force you to study or to attend or anything else. So if you didn't do it by yourself, no one is gonna do it for you. So you need to really work hard if you want to pave your way towards success at the faculty or in academia in general, and study groups as well. Like this actually helped me a lot, since I'm an extrovert person and I can't really work by my own, like prepare or revise courses. So I actually did something that I'm really proud of in my first year at the university. I was in the first sessions I've attended, I was just like watching people. I was watching people, and I was like a fisherman. I was fishing. So I was like deciding on which people to invite to my group, because I had a vision. The vision was to create a group of study that will stay together for 3 years, for the 3 years of our like journey to get our BA. So I started fishing, and I did invite many people who all of them actually accepted the request because they were wanting to have this opportunity, and I came to provide this opportunity. So we started preparing and revising courses even before we we have the course with the professor, and it was really fruitful. The 3 years of university of this of BA was amazing with those people, and I still have contact with them, even though the majority of them are no longer in Agadir city. So that's the point. I really like when people take the initiative and start something that like this. So if you're an extroverted person like me, you just go and try to make a group, and trust me, you will benefit a lot from group works. Final thoughts and reflections. I actually said all I have in mind now. I will invite the other teachers here to teachers and students who are studying other stuff at the moment, to talk about their experience and give some advice that the majority of you will benefit from. Thank you so much for your attention, and thank you so much, Salah-Eddine, for your presentation and your insightful workshop.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you for your feedback and your reflections. That was very kind of you. So first, I would like to just inform students there will power inshallah and Q&A where you can ask your questions, and if maybe you can't turn on the mic, just write it in the chat box. So for the other student, for the other speakers, feel free to turn on the mic and just pour their knowledge. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Salah-Eddine, obviously, and I just wanted to say, I wish I had a study group. I
Could
realized
you
that
please, sorry for interrupting. Could you please speak up? I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I can't hear you
No,
maybe.
we can't hear. I
Okay.
can't really hear.
Maybe turn off the mic and turn it on again.
okay,
Change something.
now
I think it's the same. You can try screaming at the mic if you don't mind.
how about now? Is it okay?
It's the same.
No, it's the same. We can't hear you. Please, if you're wearing some headphones, you can just take them off, or I don't know. I think it's I can't hear you. Sorry.
Now it doesn't work. Right.
It's unfortunately the same.
Okay, so I can expect to just.
Okay,
I
maybe you can do something. We can invite another guest speaker to speak now, and you can take maybe 3 minutes to change your setup, maybe change the mic, change something. And if you couldn't, you can either do it anyway, or maybe share your insights in the chat box, and I can, or maybe Adil or someone can share them with the others, inshallah.
Okay, sure. Maybe I'll write them down.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. The mic is yours. Anyone else who would like to go, just go ahead. Turn on the mic and let's talk.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope that you're doing well.
Alaikum salam.
Sakina, I'm sorry. Well, the first question is, what's the thing you wished you knew as a first-year student? One of the obstacles that I was facing during my bachelor degree is that I didn't have a blueprint from the outset of my bachelor degree. I mean, I didn't have واحد المخطط من العام الاول ديالي في لافاك. يعني ما كنتش عارفه اصلا بلي كاينه شي حاجه سميتها المونوغراف، يعني البحث ديال التخرج. فاذا بي يعني كان حتى كنوصل ل اس 5 و اس 6 عاد كنعرف بلي راه خصني نوجد واحد الحاجه اللي سميتها البحث، وخصني نلقى شي موضوع، وكاينين اساتذه اللي يعني كيحطوا واحد الفريم ورك، واحد الفيلد، واحد المجال اللي ما خصكش تخرج عليه. يعني بحال مثلا انا كنت مجبره انني نخدم في cultural studies. يعني هذا الشيء كامل كنت عرفتو، او لا كان شي واحد اللي نصحني من العام الاول ديالي، ما كنتش غنلقى difficulties. الحمد لله زعما تجاوزت لا ليسونس. دابا انا في العام الثاني ديالي في الماستر، ماستر ديال Translation and Cross Cultural Communication في فاس. غير هو زعما هذه واحد النقطه اساسيه اللي كيف ما انا زعما ما استفدتش منها، اولا ما لقيتش شي واحد اللي ينصحني. ما بغيتش الناس اللي دابا كيقراو في لا ليسونس يطيحوا في نفس المشكل. اعفاكم، حاولوا تفكروا من دابا في البحث ديالكم وفي الموضوع اللي بغيتوا تخدموا عليه. حاولوا تلقاو راسكم فين، يعني شنو هما الحوايج اللي كيعجبوكم، شنو هما المجالات اللي كيعجبوكم، وماشي غير كيعجبوكم. يعني ماشي غير ديك الفتره ديال you love something وصافي، يعني غير كتعجبك الحاجه، مثلا غير كتعجبك الفيلوسوفي وصافي. لا، خصك تفوت ديك المرحله ديال لاف وتولي يعني كما كنقولوا كتحاكم على الفلسفه. عارف باللي الفلسفه مثلا فيها بزاف ديال الحوايج اللي خصك تعرفهم، بزاف ديال الاساسيات، بزاف ديال العراقيل الى اخره. يعني ما كيكفيش غير الحب ديالك لواحد المجال باش انك تخدم عليه. خصك تكون اوريدي يعني عندك واحد المعرفه مسبقه، واحد الدرايه مسبقه بداك المجال، باش انك تقدر دير واحد البحث اللي يليق بطالب الاجازه. هذا بالنسبه للسؤال الاول. بالنسبه للسؤال الثاني، what's the most precious thing you got from your journey? I can say the most precious thing I got is my health. الحمد لله ما خرجت بحتى شي مرض، خرجت بخير. زعما خديت لا ليسونس ديالي بصحيحتي الحمد لله، ما صابتني حتى شي حاجه، وهذا هو الاساس. يعني في اخر المطاف كما قال صلاح الدين كيكونوا priorities، ومن بين priorities ديالي انا اللي كنت خديت في لا ليسونس هي صحتي. هي كتجي قبل القرايه. يعني فاش الامر كيتعلق بانني زعما غنبقى نمرض راسي وغادي نبقى نسهر بزاف الى اخره، لا. يعني نقطه بالنسبه لي انا بيرسونالي كنعتبر بلي يعني الصحه امانه من عند الله سبحانه وتعالى، فخصنا نتهلا فيها. وكذلك نقرا، يعني ما هادشي ما كيمنعنيش انني نمارس القرايه ديالي ونقرا الى اخره. بالنسبة للسؤال الثالث a word of advice. الادفايس اللي نقدر ننصحكم بها هي ان انصح بها حتى راسي. حنا كنتعاملوا مع واحد اللانجويج، كنتعاملوا مع لانجويج اللي هي ثقافه بحد ذاتها. يعني ما كنتعاملوش مع ارقام، ما كنتعاملوش مع مثلا ماثيماتكس 1+1=2. لا، كنتعاملوا مع واحد اللانجويج اللي كتغير بتغير الثقافات. يعني مثلا اللانجويج ديال اليو كي ماشي هي اللانجويج ديال اليو اس، اللانجويج ديال اليو اس ماشي هي ديال استراليا. يعني وباش اننا نتجاوزوا او نكونوا acquainted بهاد التغيرات هادو، الحل الوحيد هو اننا to read. احسن حل باش انك تعلم اي لغه هو انك تقرا. ما يمكنش انك تكون كتقرا يعني طالب في الدراسات الانجليزيه في لافاك وانت ما عمرك ما قريتي كتاب او لا روايه او لا just a short story بلونجلي. ما يمكنش، حيت هذيك راه لغه، واللغه ما كتخادش وما يعني ما يمكنش نتعلموا لواحد اللغه وحنا ما كنقراوش ديك اللغه. اي I do believe اللي زعما reading is not enough. I do believe. ولكن زعما كاينين طرق اخرين بالاضافه سميتو القراءه ديال الكتب. كاين listening اللي واحد اللي حتى هي زعما واحد السكيل اللي مهمه، listening speaking writing etc. ولكن هادشي كامل انا بالنسبه ليا الركيزه ديالو ولا الدعامه ديال هادشي كله هو القراءه. مادام انك you are a good reader ما غاديش تلقى مشكل في الحوايج الاخرين. يعني I guess بلي it stimulates you اصلا باش دير دوك السكيلز الاخرين. بالنسبه للفاينل thoughts and reflections نقدر نقول بلي غنستشهد بواحد الايه من كتاب الله سبحانه وتعالى اللي كيقول فيها وقل اعملوا فسيرى الله اعمالكم. شوفوا مادام انكم كتبذلوا واحد المجهود، مادام انكم رابطين اولا متوكلين على الله سبحانه وتعالى، فراه ما عمركم ما تخيبوا. ما تسمعوش لدوك الناس اللي كيبقاو يقولوا لكم راه الاستاذ الفلان فلاني راه ما كيفاليديش، راه خصك تكتب ليه داكشي اللي بغاه هو، اولا والله ما نقلتي والله ما تجيب هذا ليسونس، اولا والله ما نقلتي ما تجيبش هذه النقطه. راه الله سبحانه وتعالى كيشوف كلشي، والا كنتي كتستاهل بصح واحد النقطه راه حتى واحد ما غيحيدها لك. واخا تجتمع الجنود ديال الانس والجن باش انهم زعما ما تاخذش ديك النقطه الا كان مكتبها عليك الله سبحانه وتعالى، فراه غتاخذ ديك النقطه واخا ما عرفت شنو. وكذلك بالنسبه لي كونكور ديال الماستر، حيت كاينين بزاف ديال الطلبه فاش كيساليو لا ليسونس ديالهم كيبغيو يكملوا ماستر. حتى لي ماستر عافاكم زعما اي ماستر دفعتو ليه اولا ديروا كلشي بيد الله. يعني كتدفع الماستر كدوز، ماشي كتعلق الامال ديالك بداك الماستر. الا ما خديتيش داك الماستر صافي غادي تمرض، غادي تسطا، غادي ما عرفت شنو. لا، هاد الحاجه هذه خصنا نحيدوها ابار، وخصنا نامنوا ونصدقوا بلي اي حاجه اختارها لنا الله سبحانه وتعالى فهي فيها خير. نقدروا حنايا زعما ما نكونوش حاملين ديك الحاجه ولا كتبان لينا ما غاديش نرتاحوا فيها الى اخره، ولا يعني بزاف د الحوايج. ولكن الخير من ديك الحاجه هذيك اللي اختار لنا الله سبحانه وتعالى ما غاديش يبان لنا في البدايه، زعما غيبان لنا حتى الاخر. وهذا ما كان، وسمحوا لي لا طولت عليكم، والله يوفق الجميع. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suad. That was very insightful. Thank you for your reflections. Now we will invite back Sakina to give it a go to see if the mic is working this time.
Hey, can you all hear me?
Yes,
I know.
better.
Okay, so beautifully said, Suad. Really respect. And
Salah-Eddine, Sakina, I'm so sorry.
Yep.
Salah-Eddine, can you please check the chat box? There is a message there.
Okay.
The girl actually wrote a message there, the one who was struggling with the microphone earlier. If we can just talk about this first and then go back to Sakina. I'm sorry.
Sure, no problem.
Yes, of course. So, Yukaritaku, I hope this is not your real name. Let's call you the girl with no face. Okay, the girl with no face. I think that's better. Okay. So first, you said hello, everyone. So hello back to you. I'm Khadija. I'm Salah-Eddine, a second-year student. Before, as a first-year student, I wish I had a study group. I only realized that after my first semester, I can't always attend classes, but as long as I have a group chat on my phone where me and my friends can share tips, files, lessons, and activities, it really helps a lot. To everyone who is reading this, please find yourself a group to study with, people who are serious about it. It motivates you and it keeps you studying more fun. Salah, it keeps studying fun. I can give you an example. If you like working out, and if you like going to the gym, then you will probably go through this كتكون غادي مزيان, and then it's really difficult كتقولوا فيها اللي كمل. But if you have someone with you working out with you, then it becomes fun, it becomes easier. So study group, it doesn't only make it easy, it makes it fun, it makes it enjoyable. You help each others out, you renew each other's energy and motivation. So thank you for your input. That was very, very to the point and appreciated. Thank you. Now we go back to Sakina and then to Hussein to hear from you as well, inshallah.
Here I am again. Okay.
Welcome back.
So Salah, you've outdone yourself with your presentation once again, despite technical problems. Really grateful to be here and thank you for having us. Thank you all for being here today. It's beautiful to see people are interested. So I'll tackle the questions first. What's the thing you wished you knew as a first-year student? To be completely honest, when you're about to start your university career, because it is a career, you might find it can be quite intimidating. Personally, I spent 2 years in middle school and 1 year in high school, not ever speaking a single word to anyone. I was in my comfort zone, I was fine, I did well in school, but I missed out on so many opportunities to improve many of my abilities. And feeling slightly intimidated or nervous is absolutely acceptable. In fact, it is better to be careful than to be overly arrogant, right? But now at university, more than any other level, we must force ourselves to get out of our comfort zones and allow ourselves to grow. As you can see, we were all scattered in different groups and only really discovered each other in later semesters. For me personally, I only really got to know Salah, Adil, Suad, as well as a number of other great individuals in my last semester. We were all doing our thing in our own corners alone. I had and still have my own vision, but working on them alone was sometimes as impossible as becoming invisible. Maybe if I was braver, I could have met them before and I could have done more, gotten further much earlier, but no regrets. And for the second question, the most precious thing I learned on my journey, what helped me most in this regard, in the prospect of growth, is establishing as precisely as possible both the person I wanted to be and the person I would absolutely not want to become. The person I really wanted or not wanted to become was more like a character, not some kind of actor or someone. A character I built for myself, an attitude that I wanted to put on like a coat or a jacket. Amongst the things I knew that I absolutely did not wish to be was a person that assigns blame at her own failures. A famous psychologist named, I think it was Robert Anthony, said once, when you blame others, you give up your power to change. And there is nothing more dangerous than accepting your bad attitude and expecting everyone else to adapt to it. So by establishing what I never wanted to become, I acknowledged my lacking skills, my flaws, and got the chance to start working on them. That is not a weakness. I wanted also to have empathy, to help out others who were in need. Not only was I able to allow other students to find the help they needed, but it also helped me acknowledge where I still needed to improve. It helped me to improve my communication skills, seeing as I am really not a social person. I'm an absolute introvert. And even my teaching skills improved in that regard. Throughout my first year at university, my first semester, I was excited for classes, but as soon as it started, I discovered a bit of a black side to sitting in class. I am a curious person by nature. I love to know things, and if I do not understand or do not agree, I speak up. And so I did, but as soon as I did, some students from behind my back started bad-mouthing me for asking questions, making fun in really atrocious ways, and mocking me for speaking up. And so I shut down and stopped asking questions and stopped speaking in class and participating. Guess what happened next? By the end of the first week, after I stopped participating, most of my professors asked me, Sakina, what is wrong? You're not talking anymore. I was surprised. Not only did they notice and remember me from so many other students, they even knew my name. That was when I realized speaking and bringing your ideas to class is good. The professors get more engaged if students participate. It is hard, it is so terribly difficult to get lost and find yourself without guidance, especially when certain students make life even harder for some students. Never shy away from asking for help. As long as you take your job as a student serious, you will be taken seriously. Always take into consideration other people as well, and do not take insults seriously. There will always be people who will act in bad ways. As long as you are on the right side of things, you will find your people and you will have good people on your side. I realized then what I wanted most is to become a person that is able to show who she is through her words, through her voice, and through her own thoughts and ideas. How could I achieve that? By working on, and if necessary, break down and build from zero, from nothing, a new attitude, a good attitude. At this moment, I'm absolutely sure that probably all of you have been told before that reading is so terribly important. You might be sick and tired of hearing it, but it is a fact and an inevitable truth that if you want to improve, if you want to properly learn how to put yourself into a world full of people who are reading so much and who are so much farther than we are, you have to read about anything and everything that interests you. Then you use it to write down your thoughts, because the more you put your thoughts, your ideas into words, whether it is spoken or better yet written, the more articulate you become. For the third and fourth question, I will answer them in one go. I need the word of advice as well as the thoughts and reflections. This is a small first advice to give you. Create personal, professional emails with your name and last name. No one will take you seriously if you have a nickname in your email address. Make yourself presentable. And then it is in your hand, in your own hands, to make the university experience, or any other experience really, the best possible experience of your lives, or the worst. Not only that, but you have also the ability to make it the best or worst experience for other people. So be nice to yourself, be nice to others, be empathic, be compassionate, and most of all, be curious. It is easy to learn how to ride a bike, yes? But unless you actually take the initiative to learn it, instead of theorizing about it, unless you get up and actually take a bike and learn how to do it, you will not learn. Therefore, we need to awaken, to wake up our curiosity. I find that one of the secrets at university is not to only study for the sake of getting a diploma, but rather to learn, to grow and be knowledgeable, to be smart. Read to become more articulate, write to help yourself heal, to control your anger even, and do not forget to take care of yourself. Take long walks, drink water, put your phones and devices down every now and again, and just enjoy life. For people who only come here to Agadir, for example, to study, who are far from their families, take it as an opportunity to see yourself as travelers, discover the city, discover the new place. And remember, as I said before, to not only study for your diploma, because anything you learn now, you might use years from now. So the harder and more thorough you study now, the better the result and the more the benefits. And most importantly, and the last point, do not try to be something or someone you're not. Let the world, your peers, your professors, get a glimpse at the person you are, and do not steal from them the opportunity to see your thoughts, your colors, and your mind. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sakina. That was very insightful. We appreciate everything you said. And I would like just to stress upon some of your ideas. I wish I mentioned this and stressed it like more than that I did, which is you should not blame others. You said something very important, which is to build a positive attitude. And when you don't have a positive attitude towards either life, professors, but generally a positive attitude, you will never be able, to focus on learning. This is why people and you focus only on passing their exams كيجيبوا فقط نقاط مزيانين حيتاش كيبغي فقط كما كنقولوا يجيب التعادل. Why? Because you're thinking only, oh, this is too much, هادشي ما حملتوش حتى واحد ما مزيان كلشي كيضحك عليا. And I share with the same experiences like you did. Others were laughing at me, were mocking me for participating in class, for delivering sometimes presentations in front of the whole class. But at the end, I learned that I shouldn't take their words personally. They're just people speaking. You can even consider them being flies. This way, they wouldn't bother you as much. But yeah, thank you. And now let's maybe hear from Hussein. The mic is yours. Hussein Buhush, I think you raised your hand.
I think he has some technical issues.
Okay. Okay, Hussein, maybe if he's
If you
not
guys
here,
could check the chat, there is a question here by Nawal.
thank you.
Can we, Salah, can we please
Yes.
leave the questions until the Q&A section?
Okay, that would be better. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Now there is like a girl called Hanan. She was raising her hand too. Maybe she has something to say. I think she's not here.
I think
Left.
she's probably facing a technical issue too.
Hussein actually
Yes,
just
okay.
joined.
Well,
Salah.
Hussein, he said, okay, Hussein, I can hear you now.
Yeah, good.
Go ahead. The
You
mic
can
is
hear me
yours.
now? Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Hussein Buhush, a master student at TMC Master Transcultural and Memory Studies at 8 Miller's campus of Ibn Zahra's University. My advice to you, first of all, is that we should build a career in this bachelor degree. As Salah said, bachelor degree is a gateway for many options, for many beneficial things. So as to get this bachelor degree, you should first dedicate yourself for something which can be a difficult task or a hard mission for someone else or for me personally. So the first question I will answer is that what's the first thing I wish to know when I was a first-year student? When I was a first-year student, I had an issue. It was I just procrastinating time. I wasn't a very hard-working student, so because of a lot of interests, I was just near to quit the school. I said, what do I will get from this BA degree? What should I benefit from? And so I started making excuses. So the first year was just, I wasted it, not engaging in any social group or any network group or any workshops. So that was the first problem. My advice here is that you should firstly, before applying to this bachelor degree, decide who you are, then decide who you will be. Whether you are introvert or extrovert, you are handling things you can revise by lonely by yourself or in a group of people. So that was my issue at first. But after the pandemic, when I was alone at home during the COVID-19, I asked myself, I'm now in home, so what should I do? I have no excuses to start again procrastinating my my studies and the stuffs. So I started in the semester 3 and semester 4, and I got really some good notes. It was until the semester 5 and semester 6 where you can choose or dedicate yourself to where you should go, whether it is the branch of linguistics or the branch of literature. So it was a hard task also, whether you are a very good student in linguistic or the opposite in literature. So I chose literature as a solace for me. I had first the opinion, or I had the opinion to choose linguistic branch, but after that I changed, because I know that I will not do my best at it. So I opted for literature. Then the first thing I started is to make a group of people. I started to socialize with other students like me who are interested in studying, not just blaming professors. The professor gave me one or two. This is its problem. So that was my advice, and it's my journey also. So what was my precious thing I got from this journey, as I also said to you, is building a network group, a network of people, your students, your professors, and many other people you should know. It's a very thought-provoking idea. You should start doing it, because if you are starting doing this habit, you will benefit from it a lot. Personally, I benefit from it. Firstly, you can learn from others, and secondly, you can explain your things. You can explain your things that you don't know. For example, if you are in a meeting group, you will tell someone, "I don't know what this subject is about," and the whole group will tell you. This one, he will share his idea, and the other, and this and that. And it will become clear for you, and you will not need to waste your time anymore in this subject. It depends on your personality, as I said, whether you are introvert or extrovert, whether you can handle managing the stress of others beside you, or you can handle your loneliness in this subject of study. So I will move right now to the word of advice. Word of advice. It has many things to say, but I will just briefly say it. Stop wasting time, because as you starting studying this bachelor degree, you should benefit from your time, because as they say, time is money, and indeed it is. Because as you start wasting your time in some pleasurable things like entertainment, I don't know, watching movies, watching series, you should immediately turn and switch off this habit, this bad habit, at least to something else, by starting reading books, reading at least reading your articles, reading your assignments, reading materials. That will be beneficial, and it will pay a lot, because no pain, no gain, as they say. Also, try as much as possible to engage with other classrooms. Try to benefit from your social network, as I say. Your group network is all you can benefit from. So the final thought is, in this final thought, I will just give my journey in this, my experience in this master degree. I'm now in my second year in master. After you get your bachelor degree, if you applied for a master degree, you will obviously experience another topic, another experience, which is the master degree is totally different from the bachelor. In master, for example, you are there to prove your research skills, not your basic stuff like in a bachelor degree. just learning and validating your models. That's not the case here in master. For example, you should do your, as Salah said, it depends on your research skills. As long as you have research skills, you can certainly benefit from it a lot. And by this master, you can benefit from it a lot. You can apply for many other jobs, broadly or even internationally. It depends on your skills and whether you are sufficient with master degree to continue for, or even for PhD degree. That's the, as I said, that's the challenging that students faces in the bachelor degree, whether they want to continue to master, then to the PhD, or just to stay in another study or another job. That's my final thought, and thank you, Salah, and everyone else.
Thank you, Hussein. That's really helpful, especially when you shared your story about almost having to give up and how you had to renew your energy and your motivation. As I mentioned, ديما غتحسوا براسكم تقولوا this is too much, this is now I have to give up, but never do that. It's very normal. ولكن ديما as سعاد said, سكينة and عديد, ديما mental health ديالكم هي الأولى. You should prioritize. يعني ديما البريوريتيز ديالكم حطوهم مقادين. For example, كانت عندكم يعني let's say exam، حطوا باللي عندكم priorities. exam الأول الثاني الثالث، حطوا مواد. I personally do this. كنحط كل مادة الحاجة اللي عارفها والحوايج اللي ما عارفينش. بحال دابا ريسيرش كنقول أنا ضابط هاد الحوايج، أنا ما ضابطش هاد الحوايج. I always make a list at the very beginning, like Sakina said. She puts on the coat of the person that she wants to be. In what I used to do, كنشوف دابا أنا personally شنو هما الحوايج اللي ما عنديش، الحوايج اللي ما عارفهمش، الحوايج اللي باغي نتعلمهم. كنحطهم في corner and I try to build myself into that person, into that image. So yeah, thank you again. Now we hear from someone else. I don't know if Hassan is here, Aziz, anyone who's wants to participate, you're free to go. And then we move to Q&A and to answer questions ديالكم إن شاء الله. Maybe we wait less than a minute إلا ما كان شي واحد هنا. We move to the Q&A part إن شاء الله through your questions. And okay, so I think no more guest speakers for now. نمشي will Q&A.
Shaima has raised her hand.
Okay, so we can include Shaima for the Q&A. By the way, can you see the new slide?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we go back to our discussion. Shaima, you have the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Shaima from English Studies. I hope you all doing great, and I'm glad to hear your voices, guys. So my question is, how did you manage between university and working at, for example, a private school, especially because you know that private schools takes our time and energy. So this is my question.
Thank you. That's a valid question, and I do appreciate this question, to be honest. I will give you my answer in the form of an analogy. يعني واحد المقاربة. دابا I use this very often, this analogy, which is يعني كناخدو vase, يعني a certain vase اللي فيه some soil and a plant like a seed or something. So دابا نقولو personally, let's say I have 5 liters ديال water, which is, let's call it هذيك هي my energy, okay? I take my energy, my time, represented in واحد القطعة الماء فيها 5 liters. If you take this bottle of water, for example, someone else يمكن تكون عنده 2 liters, someone 1 liter, someone 10 liters. شي حد يمكن تكون عنده أكثر. So هنا, for example, I have 5 liters. وعرفت أنا personally بلي I only need 3 liters باش أنني نسقي واحد يعني seed. ديك seed اللي هي لافاك. So then I figured بلي عندي باقي شوية ديال الwater ما عندي غير غادي يخسر. Why not plant a new seed and then grow it to another plant which is working a part-time job? So this maybe answers your question. It's a question of priorities. If you see yourself بلي you can manage both يعني إلا بان لك الوقت ديال الخدمة زائد يعني شي واحد مثلا كان خدام وكتبقى ليه الوقت why not. ولكن إلا شتي بلي إن فوا عجبك الخدمة ولا غير internship تداخل هادشي مع البريوريتيز ديالك اللي هما مثلا studies and to actually learn كما قلنا ماشي فقط فاليتي فقط تجيب نقطة مزيانة ولكن تفهم to understand and to actually learn and improve from this journey. So Shema, this is my answer. It depends on you. إلا شتي راسك قادة أنك ديريها definitely okay. إلا بانت لك it's a bit difficult then it's okay. So thank you Sakina for your input and Shema for your question.
Thank
So
you
go
so
ahead.
much.
Anyone else? If you have any other question, follow-up questions, just feel free to share them. Abdulaziz, yes, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Hi Salah.
Walaikum
Hi Adil. Hi everyone. I'm
Marhaban.
really so glad to be here with you. I genuinely enjoyed listening to you guys like since the beginning of this really fruitful and insightful I would say lecture. I wanted to participate in the testimony paragraph, but as you actually mentioned mostly everything, so you didn't left like even a shred to participate. And then Sakina came and atat ala al-baqi, so it was all being said, well articulated. Those it means everything that I was actually like aiming to speak about. Yeah, you mentioned it. So as لم تغادروا صغيرة ولا كبيرة أحسن شيء as the
Yes,
analogy
thank
says.
you.
So my question now, moving to my question, I'm actually curious. It may seem irrelevant. I'm just really curious about why the majority of excellent students choose linguistics path instead of literature. And actually, this was like a question for a long conversation yesterday with the professor in the university without mentioning his names, and he actually mentioned you, Salah, as that
Thank
example,
you.
and he's still wondering. So maybe this is a good opportunity to explain him, because I told him that I choose linguistics too, and he just like was shocked, and he asked me why the majority of excellent students choose linguistics instead of literature. So do you have like any insight about that? Any reflection
I
about
think I do. I think I actually do. But I at least would speak any from my part. I was really troubled. I need to choose between linguistics and literature. It is a stereotype, but there is some kind of a truth to it. If you look at numbers, and in majority the numbers, when you see linguistics as a major and you see literature as a major, كتشوف النمبر ديال students. دابا بحال اللي كنقولوا في linguistics كيكونوا at least 5 د الأقسام. Sometimes كيكونوا أكثر ولكن غالبا 5 groups. في literature كيكونوا 2 groups. And this has been the case for many years now. So إلا قارنا الأغلبية ديال students اللي كيمشيو ليها كيبان لك بلي راه الأغلبية in numbers كيبانوا في linguistics بينما الأغلبية كيدير literature. So speaking generally الأغلبية ما كيديرش literature because it involves a certain skill set that is challenging for students, which is maybe some of them and not all of them يعني thinking out of the box يعني يفكر في حوايج جداد like analyzing the stories, the poems and so on. which can be challenging. And if you go to any certain classroom في literature, like يبان لك 3 students 4 maximum اللي كيكونوا bright and they have really good potential، الباقي كيكونوا غير شويه. هنا علاش؟ حيتاش عندنا في المجموع غير 2 اقسام، في التوتال كيبان لك 10 ديال students في 2 اقسام maximum في literature، ولكن في linguistics because we have a greater number كيبان لك واقيلا بلي العدد اكثر. But personally يعني from my personal experience علاش اختاريت linguistics in not literature. دابا أنا personally that's why I really encourage you to use the time to have fun and know what you want. دابا أنا في العام الأول دخلت I wanted to become a writer. So this was my vision, this was my dream and my objective, to write stories and stuff like that. But along the way, I discovered my passion for teaching and education. So this put me in a certain crossroad, which and then in the linguistics and then follow my new passion, which is teaching and helping others. And then when I think about it, I go back to my first experience اللي كانت في الإس2 ملي بديت كنشارك des audio with students, just groups and so on. And I قلت, should I keep this feeling or go back to the other road and follow my original calling, my original feeling that I like writing. So I decided to be more selfless at the time and follow linguistics. حيتاش غتجيك تجي maybe it's personal, but I know other students تلامت اخرين اللي كيديروا linguistics personally because it's easier تجيب فيها نقطة مزيانة. So this is another stereotype about linguistics, but I'm not really sure about the others. We can maybe discuss this even more if you want, Aziz. Feel free to share your opinions and maybe follow up on my answers.
Salah-Eddine, can I
Thank you.
please
Thank you,
add
Salah.
something to what you've said?
Okay, Adil, مرحبا, of course.
Well, thank you, Abdulaziz, for the input, for the valuable input. Concerning هاد القضية دي, I think it's not necessarily right, because we know lots of brilliant students in literature too. Sakina, Safiya, Su'ad, Hussein, Yunus, just name those people are very, very brilliant. ماشي حيتاش كاينين هنا ولا ولكن حيتاش صح they're really good. They're in literature, and they're actually better than زعما شحال من واحد كاين في linguistics. It's not necessarily the case باللي غير الناس اللي واعرين هما اللي كيديروا linguistics ولا غير الناس اللي واعرين اللي كيديروا literature. كما كيقول صلاح الدين, it has to do with certain skill set اللي كيتوفروا في واحد الشخص او لا certain motivations اللي كاينين عند واحد الشخص اللي كيكونوا كيأثروا القرار ديالو. حنا كنهضروا على الناس اللي بعقلهم, يعني ماشي اغلبيه ستودنتس, حيت اغلبيه ستودنتس راه الاختيار ديالهم كيكون زعما مأثرين عليه بزاف ديال العوامل الخارجيه اللي كما قال صلاح الدين يقدر غير يشوف واحد الاستاذ كاين في الليتراتور وما عاجبوش يسمع عليه بلي راه داك الاستاذ خايب ولا كذا غيدير لينغويستيكس. يعني القرار ديالو بسيط لهذه الدرجه هذه ديال انه كيتاثر بعوامل بسيطه جدا. كما كاينين الناس اغلبيه دايرين الليتراتور حيتاش خايفين من اللينغويستيكس, كاينين الناس دايرين اللينغويستيكس حيتاش خايفين من الليتراتور, which is actually somehow ما كيتفهمش لي هذه القضيه هذه. بالعكس I like challenging things. انا شخصيا درت linguistics كما قال صلاح because of my passion of teaching and education in general. I had the chance to زعما انني ندير انا literature. I used to attend some of their classes and I saw that I have a potential even there, even though I'm not a person who reads a lot, as you might know, but I will manage. But يعني هاد الشيء هذا كما قالت سعاد it's merely a stereotype, وغالبا الاستاذ اللي ديسكس معك هاد الفكره هذه عبد العزيز maybe يقدر يكون غالبا استاذ ديال linguistics, وبعض الاساتذه هما تيكونوا شويه biased ملي تيهضروا على شي حاجه. So I think it doesn't have to do with الشخص واش واعر ولا ماشي واعر ولا واش مزيان ولا واش ماشي مزيان داك القرار، غير مسألة ديال دراسة زعما بعقلها القرار ديالك وانت شنو تيعجبك and فين كتشوف راسك تقدر تعطي this is زعما هذا هو الحاجة اللي خصها تأثر القرار ديالك بنسبة عالية. Thank you so much for the input. This is my opinion.
Yeah, we go back to
A big-
Aziz.
a
Maybe
big
you'd like
pardon, yeah.
yeah, go back,
Yeah,
Aziz.
just like one clarification I want to make is that I didn't claim or I didn't say that only the brilliant and excellent students who go to literature to linguistics major and that the left choose literature. I've never said that. I said that the majority means if we take a look in the percentage, for example, let's say we've got like a 100 students sophomores who got their DIG like with more than 12 for example in the grade. Let's say ديال المونسيون عندنا في المغرب 100 طالب عندهم 12 as sophomores. إلا شفنا في statistically speaking most of like more than 50% من هاد اللي هما brilliant they go to linguistics. That was the question asked from the teacher. And by the way, he is a literature majorly teacher. It means he is in the literature major, not in the linguistics major. And it actually just like it drove me to reflect on it. And بما انه جبد صلاح الدين كمثال اللي كنصدموه فسميتو يعني هو just like shock انه كيقول لك بحال كيقول هو بزاف ديال البوتنشال يعني ان هذا الطالب كان كيشوف فيه مثلا potentially he's going to lead like a very fruitful and successful pathway if he chooses that major. That's all. But at the end I agree with you ان الامر كيرجع انا بالنسبه لي كاين بزاف ديال entangling factors كيتجمعوا باش that push you to decide which path you choose. Personally I was torn out between the two majors or disciplines. ما نكذبش عليك اول مره جيت انا السنه الاولى شنو كان الهدف ديالي انا بغيت نجيب يعني الباتشلر فيهم بجوج because as I like linguistics as much as literature يعني صعيب عليا نفضل واحد على الاخر and that's purely why I choose to continue like my upper graduate studies in the stylistics field يعني I'm thinking of going to the PhD in cognitive stylistics. Why? Because stylistics is this bridging field between the study of language and study of literary texts. So yeah, so that's it. So غير توضيح يعني السؤال كان هو علاش الأغلبية يعني من الطلبة المتفوقين كنلقاو بأن الماجوريتي كتمشي linguistics. That was the idea. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for the clarification.
So as we said, just to sum it up, and it's mainly a matter of numbers, and numbers of students, and it's also a matter of personal any choices and attitudes towards any subject يكون يكون. So أهم حاجة لابد to maybe drive this back to our main theme اللي هو orientation ديال students. You should know this. سواء كنتو باغي ديروا linguistics or literature, it's the same. بجوج بيهم عندهم آفاق مزيانين، ولكن you should know يعني قراو كل موديل ولا كل تخصص in every major has its own modules, its own requirements. بحال دابا linguistics, it requires you to be more maybe not analytic, but sometimes it focuses on critical thinking skills, and sometimes it focuses on your ability to answer questions in not a written format, but maybe not to express, but mostly like numbers. You deal with numbers, you deal with grammar, you deal with something more tangible, more than literature. If you see yourself that you don't like to be maybe specified and limited to a certain box or space to write in, then you should probably follow literature. ولكن خصكم تقلبوا على كل حاجة والتخصص ديالها وكان غتديكم إن شاء الله. So maybe if anyone else had other questions, you can share them now.
Salah, just to answer the question of
Yes.
Nawal. Yes, she said in call messages how to make like a group effectively. So let me just make sure if Nawal is still here. Yes, she's here. Okay, the answer is first of all you have to be different. يعني هذوك الناس اللي غيكونوا معاك في الجروب ما يكونوش كاملين واعرين ولا كاملين مثلا عندهم زعما ما كيهضروش في القسمه ولا شي حاجه، يعني تكونوا مختلفين. يعني واحد يكون من دوك اللي كيكونوا brilliant very brilliant، واحد يكون بيناتهم، واحد اخر يكون مثلا ما كيهضرش كاع في القسم انما كياخذ النوت. يعني كل واحد بالدور ديالو. هذه من اهم القواعد اللي كنظن الانسان خصو ياخذهم، خصوصا الطلبه ديال يعني لافاك انهم ياخذوا هذا الشيء بعين الاعتبار. اي ان الجروب خصو يكون دايفيرس، ما يكونوش دوك الممبرز ديال الجروب كلهم بحال كلهم نفس الافكار. وعلاش لا الا قدرتي كاع زعما تكونوا مثلا ماشي غير باش بريباريو لي زيكزام ايتترا. تراي مثلا يكون واحد منكم من تروزيام اني، واحد من دوزيام اني، واحد من بريمير اني ايتترا. يعني ما تكونوش كلكم مثلا في نفس الكلاس او لا في نفس العام. هذه من بين اهم الحوايج. ومثلا دير واحد تشالنج انكم تقراو واحد الروايه او واحد الشورت ستوري او لا ايا كان بالنسبه اللي بغى يكمل في literature. And that's it. I hope I clarified and answered your question.
Thank you, Suad. I will just add one thing and then give the mic to Mariam Farazdak. First, because Nawal also asked about being terrified in the classroom, I will share a simple story with you that hopefully will clarify and show you that there is nothing to worry about. Sakina before said something similar, that someone was making fun of her there in the class when she was speaking, and she was speaking properly, and they still made fun of her. بنادم ديما غادي يدوي، ديما غادي يقول عليك شي حاجة. Don't worry about them. Do your thing, be yourself, and worry about nothing. For example, I remember the first time I actually spoke in front of an audience في لافاك. الموديول ديال guided reading نهار الجمعة مع الجوج. I still remember every tiny detail about it because it was my first time speaking out and actually presenting some kind of a very short presentation. When I started, everyone was looking at me in a really weird and giving me those stinky eyes. اش كدير تما فين غادي؟ هادشي اللي كيقولوا لي with their eyes. So then I said, okay, اشنو خاصني ندير؟ بديت كندوي. Okay, just بديت كندوي. I actually mentioned this before. قلت شي كلمة ولا جوج بالدارجة. I didn't actually notice. من بعد عاد ملي مشيت قال لي يعني friend of mine واش سمعتي راسك دويتي بالدارجة. وحبست شحال من وقت بقيت كنقول، بقيت حبست بحال هكا وبديت معايا وبقاو كنشوف فيها. كنحس براسي باللي رجليا كانوا كيتبعدوا. وملي رجعت قال لي my friend oh wow واش ما كانش فيك ستريس بزاف؟ قلت ليه ماشي هي ستريس اللي كان فيها. I couldn't speak for some time. انا حسيت براسي حبست دقيقه ولا جوج, which was maybe just 2 seconds or 3 seconds. So just learn this. أهم piece of advice that I can give you, أول حاجة don't worry about people. وخا يكونوا judgmental يقولوا اللي بغاو, it's not important. تاني حاجة learn to embrace yourself. Making mistakes is okay. It's normal to make mistakes. Mistakes mean growth. تالت حاجة try in the classroom, of course, to speak as slow as possible, because when you speak slow, this will allow you, for example, like I'm doing now, to manage your stress. This stress, you pause. The pauses, they will make you breathe and let the stress come and then you can actually think of what to say next. So that's it. I give the mic to Mariam Farazdak.
Can I please just add something briefly? And I'm sorry, Mariam.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, just for now, who's actually interested, I think our mind plays games with us when it comes to participating in the classroom or talking in front of an audience and stuff like these. We are all capable of doing this, but our mind is actually manipulating our bodies. So you just need to have a positive attitudes towards the stage, and believe that you're actually excited, not stressed. They're actually the same, somehow the same, but you're excited because you just want to do something perfect. You want to do something really well done. So that's actually the barrier. That's what makes you feel that stress and anxiety when you're on the stage, which is totally natural, totally fine. And I personally do something whenever I see or I spot an opportunity of speaking in front of an audience. I see it like like the sea, and I will just dive in. It's like كاين عندك واحد ستيج، واحد البلاصه اللي خلعك اللي هو البحر مثلا ولا الماء. الا تلاحيتي فيه اوتوماتيكمون الغريزه ديال البقاء ديالك غادا تخدم، الغريزه ديال البقاء ديالك غادا تخدم وغادا تخرجك من تما. اتس ان unpleasant سيتويشن كما كتبان لينا، اللي هي ديك ستيج نمشيو نطلقوا تما وانت كتشوف قد. ولكن راه ان فوا غتحط تما تراست مي عندك the first minute او just the first seconds اللي غادي تلقى فيهم مشكل وغتلقى فيهم راسك مستريسي ومخلوع. after that غتحس براسك صافي at ease، غتولي مرتاح او هضر عادي وما تسوقش للناس. اللي بغى يضحك، اللي بغى يدير اي حاجه، worry not. ما عندهم. شنو هو ديما هذا السؤال كنطرحو على راسي فاش قبل ما نبقى نوض الستيج، what's the worst case scenario اللي ممكن يوقع؟ شنو هو اسوأ سيناريو غيوقع؟ واش غادي نموت؟ لا، ما غاديش نموت. then it's fine. يعني ما كاين حتى شي worst scenario because the worst scenario هو نموت. ما غاديش نموت دونك راه ما كاينش شي worst scenario في هذه الحاله هذه، دونك خصني نتلاح وما عندي مناش نخاف. this is how I used to do it and I used to do. كنهضر بالونجلي وكيجيني داك ستريس وكيمشيو لي الكلمات بالونجلي and I use Arabic. I use everything I have in mind ديك الساعه باش كنخرج راسي صافي. ومع الوقت صافي كتطلق وكتعلم. I think زعما I hope هاد الشيء هذا يكون زعما of any help to you guys اللي كيلقاو صعوبه باش يهضروا زعما فوق stage. and I'm sorry Maryam for keeping you waiting and the floor is
I
yours.
think I will apologize again. I will just add one extra point that you mentioned, Adil, and I will stress on it. The excitement and stress, it's almost the same. The line between the two is very thin, that they look very similar. I'll give you a very short example that you're all familiar with. But imagine تخيلوا معايا the next morning الغد لي الصباح مع 8 or you can pick the time. Imagine تخيلوا مثلا you have a date, okay. دابا واش كتكون فيك ستريس ولا الاكسايتمنت؟ لا، كتكون excited ماشي ستريس. كتقول واو خاصني نمشي دابا، ما خاصنيش نتعطل. So you go very early in the morning and you go كتقول واو تعطل. I'm talking by the way about a date. ماشي طبيب مثلا تشوف تحاليل. Don't go there. don't go there. Come ارجع لهنا. So دابا let's explain داك الديت عند الطبيب. كتقول مثلا غادي نسمع خبر زوينه ولا خبر خايبه اللي بغا يكون. المهم ديك الخبر اللي غتسمع عند الطبيب in the date whatever كتخليك تحس بواحد الاكسايتمنت. الاكسايتمنت بحال stress. So I really like this to change the attitude. It will change how you see things. So back to you, Mariam, and we apologize about the interruptions.
It's okay. I'd like to thank everyone first for your contribution. It was really helpful and motivating, especially now that it's the start of the year. You kind of renewed our energy. And I have one question concerning the career like paths that we can follow, and it's about a rumor that I heard that some people say, and I want to ask if you know anything about it, if it's true or not. It's about how like people say that if you want to be a professor at a university,
the best way to go about it is to start by being a high school teacher and then do your MA and PhD at the same time, and then get promoted eventually to college instead of like doing the traditional MA, like BA, MA, PhD course. And they say as evidence that like most of the professors that teach us at university were the high school teachers. But I wanted to ask, do you know anything about this? Is it true or not? Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam. That's a very serious and valid question, and thank you for bringing this to the discussion. So, أول حاجة, the short answer is that's not true. That's literally not true. And the answer it goes like this. I was struggling. كنت باغي نتفع التعليم في العمومي. I need to work in the public sector as teacher in high school, but then I was actually advised not to do it by some professors that I would probably not name their names here. ولكن short story is they told me بلي راه ملي كتدفع لافاك ملي كتكون خدام وكدير الماستر it leaves you with very little time and effort and energy باش انك تدفع الماستر. So هنا you are very struggling ديال بصح بارابور الا كنتي مثلا شاد لا ليسونس كتكون عندك الانرجي باقي جديده ما عندكش بزاف د البرايوريتيز كتكون باقي مرتاح باقي عندك الانرجي فريش then you invest ديك الانرجي وكتطور من راسك اكثر. دونك لي ميرون راه يمكن تشد لا ليسونس وتخدم في العمومي ومثلا تكون استاذ عاد في هذيك الساعات الماستر وتجيب مزيان. ولكن النمبر ديال الاساتذه اول حاجه number statistics first facts speak يعني more than just يعني داكشي اللي كيتسمع في لافاك. اول حاجه الاغلبيه ديال الناس اللي كيتقبلوا في الماستر ما كيكونوش خدامين. علاش؟ حيت كيكون صعيب عليهم انهم to balance القرايه زائد لافاك كيكون very difficult. هذه من جهه اخرى واخا كيكونوا هما قادرين لافاك بعض الخطرات ما كيسمحش لهم كيقول لك لا هذا يس
ام سوري. وحتى هاد النقطه ديال الماستر اي ثينك حاليا يقدر عبد العزيز يكونفيرمي هذه المعلومه ولا ينفيها. حاليا كنظن راه الماستر ولا صعيب يديروا شي واحد اللي خدام يعني باش يتقبل فيه وباش زعما يقرا ولا شي حاجه تيطلبوا لك شهاده عدم العمل وشي تخربيق بحال هكا يعني it's already difficult for those who work باش انهم يدخلوا الماستر ايغاس. عبد العزيز يقدر يكونفيرمي ولا ينفي.
I am not sure about this.
I think
maybe
because ديجا كيقراو معايا 3 ديال الناس اللي زعما خدامين في القطاع العمومي غير هو زعما ديك النسبه اللي كيكونوا زعما كيهزوا في اي ماستر ديال الناس اللي كيكونوا موظفين كتكون قليله مقارنه مع الطلبه اللي زعما ديجا اللي يلاه تخرجوا.
exactly yes.
صلاح
So عزيز yes go ahead. او حسين then عزيز.
جاست اوكي. غير في الماستر عندنا حنايا حيت اول مره فتحوا الماستر العام اللي فات قبلوا الموظفين الفونكسيونير وقعنا في واحد المشكل اللي هو تايم تيبل. فهمتي بلا تايم تيبل يعني خصنا نقادوا الوقت.
شحال البورسونتاج ديالهم واش كانوا قلال ولا كانوا يعني
تقريبا كانوا تقريبا لحد الان دابا عندنا 7 ديال الاساتذه وخرجوا باقي منهم 4 خرجوا 4 وبقاو عندنا 7 ديال الاساتذه. واحد دوز في التعليم قال لي 17 عام واحد 12 عام واحد 8 سنين واحد 4 سنين وواحد الاستاذه يلاه دخلت عام في التعليم. يعني كاين بريسنتيج في التيتشين وهما دوزوا كاملين الاكسبيرينس في الهاي سكول وبغاو ياخذوا الماستر. قالوا لنا ضيعوا بزاف ديال الوقت في التيتشين كيلوحوهم في المناطق مثلا في السماره وفي الجنوب بزاف ما كيلقاوش الفرصه يديروا ماستر ولا البي اتش دي. هادشي اللي خلاهم يضيعوا بزاف ديال الوقت. قال وملي داروا البروفيسورز ديالنا هاد الماستر فتحوا ديك الفونكسيونير قالوا ماشي مشكل از فيرست يير وقعنا في المشكل ديال التايم تيبل صافي. يعني هاد السكند يير دابا فاش حلوا الماستر اي ثينك راه ما بغاوش باقي الفونكسيونير. يعني كيف ما قلتي كيقبلوا واحد الفئه صغيره اللي عندها التايم تيبل should be respected حيت الماستر ديما خاص الاتندنس والريسبونسابيلتي تكون تماك. داكشي يعني ضروري في التيتشين الاساتذه كتكون القضيه شويه صعيبه على حساب التايم تيبل and master staffs and conferences.
Thank you Hussein. Maybe Aziz can go now and I can at the end sum up your ideas.
Thank you. المهم بخصوص هذا الموضوع هذا يعني صراحه يعني فيه بزاف ما يتقال. اولا الامر كيختلف من شعبه لشعبه. فور اكزامبل نقدر نعطيكم انا مثلا الابديتس لهاد الشعب اللي ام فيري فاميليار ويز، الشعبه العربيه والشعبه ديال الانجليزيه والشعبه ديال اسبانيا. فور اكزامبل بيفور ما كانش عندنا هذا المشكل. مثلا بين 2015 و 2017 كنت درت واحد الماستر ديال الصحافه ديال الجورناليزم تابع الدراسات العربيه، وكان الماستر مفتوح يعني كانوا فيه ناس جايين اجازه بالاسبانيه بالانجليزيه من الدروه. تقريبا كنا 40 واحد فيهم قول 30 منهم كلهم موظفين، اللي خدام في البوليس، اللي خدام في البلاط الملكي، اللي صحفي، اللي استاذ اكسيتيرا. اوكي الاشكال اللي كيكون بزاف كذا هو ديال الغياب، هو ديال الابسونس. يعني في 40 مثلا ديك الساعات نحن في 40 ولكن الكلاس كتلقى فيها بالمرات 10 8 12 ما وصل والله الامتحان. فهذا كان هذا مشكل. من بعد مثلا 2018 2020 درت ماستر اخر ديال ديسكورس اناليسيس دائما شبه الدراسات العربيه، وهنا كان وقع مشكل. ديك الساعه تصادف مع واحد القانون جديد خرجته الوزاره اللي كينص على ان دابا هذا القانون راه كاين. اي ثينك ذيس از دابا هذا هو اللي كيوحدوه في جميع الشعب بنسب مختلفه كما قلت ديما كتبقى من شعبه الاخرى. القانون هو انه في الملف الوصفي ديال الماستر كما بغى يكون من ناحيه عدد يعني ديال المناصب المخصصه له 20% ديال الموظفين 80% طلبه. يعني الا كان عندنا مثلا في الملف الوصفي ديال الماستر مثلا هو 20 واحد 20 طالب في الملف الوصفي ديالو، فالعدد ديال الموظفين ما كيفوتش 5. alright الاشكال هو شنو كيوقع، هو انه ملي كدير هذه العمليه هذه كيدخلوا عندك مثلا ملي كتكون الاغلبيه مثلا ديال الطلبه اللي كيوقع مثلا هو ان مثلا بحال دابا الابلاي لينغويستكس اي ثينك بان مثلا استاذ درس مثلا 3 سنوات او 4 سنوات او 5 سنوات، يعني في الديسكاشن ديال الماتيريال ديال الليكتشر غادي يكون مور اكتيف وغادي يساهم اكثر من طالب ما عمرو داز من من المرحله ديال القسم. because we study cases we study like real life situations. فغالبا كيساهم. مساله اخرى هو ان الموظف كيحصل على اجازه مثلا في السن ديال 22 سنه، كيمشي مثلا كيلتحق بالتعليم العمومي او حتى التعليم الخصوصي، كيبقى على الماستر مثلا واحد عامين ديال 3 سنين. اشنو كيوقع له؟ انه كيرجع للماستر في 25 سنه ولا 26 سنه، كيتلاقى مع واحد الطالب جاي من الاجازه 22 سنه. كما بغى يكون الحال لك 25 26 غيكون عندي واحد 3 سنوات ديال النضج، حتى abstractly talking cognitively talking غيكون اكثر. فبالتالي مثلا كتبان لك مثلا في الايسايز I'm not by the way I'm not generalization. راه ديما كتلقى حالات ديال طالب ما عمرو داز في القسم، ما عمرو كذا في الابلاي لينغويستكس يعني وغادي سميتو يتفوق على استاذ عنده خبره ديال 20 سنه. So there are always cases but I'm talking on the average, I'm talking broadly speaking here. هذه من ناحيه باسكو في هذا غير باش نعرفوا بان مثلا شنو كيوقع مثلا في العربيه. ملي داروا ديك العمليه شنو وقع لهم؟ 5 ديال الموظفين الاخرين طلبه. اشنو وقع؟ جات الويف الاولى في السنه الاولى دوك الاجازه الناس الطلبه موستلي ذي ار بروكس. كاين كيبغي يشوف مثلا في الحاله الماديه كتولي عنده ان ايشيو، خلى وليداتو مثلا عفوا والديه مثلا كانوا ما في حالهمش الخدمه. كيف فيه هو كيقلب على واحد المسطر ديال الرزق. اش كيدير؟ كيلتحق بالمركز ديال التكوين ديال الاساتذه. كيف اون فوا كيلتحق بالمركز كيولي كيغيب من الماستر. الاساتذه كيولوا يا اما انهم يعني سميتو يعني انهم يجريو عليه يقصيو اولا كيتعاملوا. اشنو كيوقع لك؟ انه كيولي ذاك الماستر شكون اللي كيصوفيه؟ الموظفين. مشينا مثلا الصبليونيه عندهم العكس، هذا العام عندهم 95% موظفين 5% طلبه. كيف اتس اولويز لايك صعيبه كما قلت لك. ديبيندز من شعبه لشعبه، ديبيندز بزاف ديال الفاكتورز. but I see that is not the main issue that sister Miriam has revealed. كان السؤال ديال مريم
Yes.
كان في علاقته لان بان لنا شويه بعدنا شويه. كيبان لي السؤال ديال مريم كان علاقته بلي شونس يعني بالحظوظ ديال انني انا ما جايش من التعليم العمومي، ما عنديش تجربه في التدريس. يعني انا طالب حصلت على الاجازه ديالي من بعد التحقت بالماستر، من بعد التحقت بالبي اتش دي. يعني بنيت هذا البروسيسوس هذا. واش عندي دي شونس انني نلتحق بلا فاك ولا لا؟ كنظن واقيلا هذا هو السؤال ديال مريم ياك.
Exactly.
So I think بان في هذا النظام الجديد والتوجه اليوم جديد ديال الوزاره وهذا المخطط السريع دابا اللي دايرين وملونسين وكذا. I think he's playing in the favor. قبل نقدر نقول لك كانت مثلا لي شونس بزاف للاساتذه. علاش؟ بحكم انه كما قلت لك مثلا ديك التجربه ديك الميتشورنس ديك كذا. ولكن اليوم ولا كيدير لهم مشكل بزاف، لان الاستاذ مثلا كيحصل على البي اتش دي مثلا لايك سي 38 years old 40 years old، كيجلس مثلا 5 سنين ولا 7 سنين حتى ل 10 سنين. راه كنلاحظوا مثلا في هاد الناس اللي كيدفعوا دابا في المناصب ديال الالتحاق بالجامعات كتلقى مثلا لاج 50 عام 48 عام. فبالتالي هو كاع كيدخل كيلتحق سي فري جايب تجربه وجايب كذا وعنده مؤلفات وعنده ملف علمي صحيح كذا، كيتفوق على مثلا طالب. ولكن واش كيوقع؟ الزمن ديالو ديال العطاء ديالو هو 10 سنين. كيفي انا غادي نشدو غنكري ليه منصب مالي اللي هو طالع بزاف، الدوله غادي يكلفها بزاف، ولكن هذا السيد ما غاديش نستافد منه مزيان. and he has not much like to develop. في الغالب ملي كتلقى الواحد راه 50 عام ماشي هي 20 ولا 30 عام، يعني بنادم عيا ما بقاش باقي عنده الخاطر وكذا. فبالتالي هذا من الامور اللي ادت انها ديغرادي شويه الجوده ديال التعليم في الجامعه. التوجه اليوم كاين دابا ديال الدوله هو انه دابا كاين الفيفر ديال اليوث. دابا كاين واحد الرهان كبير على اليوث وعلى التفوق، لدرجه انه دابا القانون الجديد فوق 45 سنه راه ما غاديش تهز في ديك لاكغي. يعني يجي مثلا طالب واخا يكون الملف ديالو مثلا عنده مثلا يلاه 3 publications ذاتس ات، وجاي واحد مثلا عنده ليتس لايك 50 publications جوج ديال الكتوبه ومقري في كذا، فكون متاكد غير في لاج وكذا غيتفوق. هذاك عنده لافونتاج على مول 45 ولا 46. مساله اخرى هو انه اليوم بين الشروط ديال انك تدخل الجامعه ضروري خاص تكون عندك واحد التجربه ديال التدريس في الجامعه. وبالتالي انت ملي كتكون كدير ماستر وكذا كتشارك في الكارير سنتر، كدير واحد هذيك راه كتدخل لك في السي في ديالك. ملي كتطلع از بي اتش دي ستودنت كيولي عندك واحد 200 ساعه ديال انك كتسونكر يعني كتخصصها للعمل في الجامعه، من بينها انك دراسه ديال الامتحانات، ومن بين انها كيتعطاوك لا سميتو كيتعطاك انك تقري موديل ولا جوج، لا سيما في الاس 1 والاس 2. حنا كنعرفوا كاملين بان الاس 1 والاس 2 من البورسونتاج ديال التيتشرز ديالهم مرسمين اللي قراونا راه الاغلبيه كانوا دي دكتورون. وانا كنهضر على الجروب 1 والجروب 2 كانوا بزاف ديال لي دكتورون قراونا، وكانت هاد الامور هذه حتى لي جروب الاخر.
Yes, the same.
I think النصيحه ديالي هنا المريم اننا share with because I have the same goal. I see myself in the university. If you work really hard and if you got يعني الواحد الحلم قدام، اللي ننصحك به انا هو انك حاولي من دابا تتشوز your field of speciality. من دابا نتخصص، من دابا فين باغي نمشي. linguistics is so broad. واش بنمشي في الفونيتكس، واش بنمشي في السينتاكس، ولا بالليتريتشر، واش غنمشي لكذا. وحتى في الفونيتكس it's better for example like to focus on واحد الايشيو، لان ما حد كتقرب الماستر راه كتضيق، ما حد كتمشي للبي اتش دي غادي وكتضيق. so I think if you have that goal just like embrace it، تمسكي به حطيه قدامك ان شاء الله. and I know you as a colleague in Bookworms Club and in the believe in you, and I know that you got all what it takes to be there. It means like in 4, 5, 6 years I can see you there as a professor in the university. So I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aziz. That was very, like, you summed it all, you said it all. You had left nothing for me to add, but still I will try to find some any just piece of advice to add to Mariam. So first أول حاجة دابا بالنسبة للستودنتس اللي بغاو يدفعوا الماستر واللي بغاو يكملوا زعما الدراسة في الجامعة.
Sorry to interrupt. We'll just have 10 minutes more.
Okay, 10 minutes and then we call it a day إن شاء الله.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So أول حاجة بالنسبة للماستر دابا كاين أول حاجة دابا كاين اختلاف بالنسبة للستودنتس قبل ودابا. كما قال عزيز دابا قبل الأساتذة الجامعيين كلهم دازوا في التعليم، وهذا الشيء كان في الصالح ديالهم بطبيعة الحال. كيبان لك بلي الأغلبية ديال الأساتذة الجامعيين اللي دازوا في التعليم يعني كانوا خدامين في الهاي سكولز اند سو اون، يكونوا أحسن من الأساتذة الجامعيين تقريبا almost عندهم نفس لاج، كيكونوا more or less generally speaking يعني speaking for numbers كيكونوا تقريبا أحسن في المستوى ديالهم وفي الطريقة ديال التعليم ديالهم، teaching skills ديالهم كيكونوا أحسن من هذاك اللي ما دازش في التعليم. ولكن دابا فين كاين المشكل ان في الماضي ما كانش يعني في الماضي كان في الصالح ديال الاستاذ، دابا ما بقاش في الصالح ديال الاستاذ كما قال عزيز. ومن جهه اخرى الاساتذه دابا حاليا ما كيمشيوش للتعليم العمومي، يعني ما كتقبيش فقط في بالكونترا، كتقبي بلا ديك الكونترا، يعني without giving into the details. دابا هنا ديك الاكسبيريونس ديالك قبل في الماضي ملي كنتي خدام في العمومي it translates to the university. كتدخل مثلا لافاك كتكون تحسبتي باللي ما خدمتي مثلا واحد العدد ديال السنين في القطاع العمومي غير كتكمل. دابا حاليا وهذا الشيء راه واقع بالنسبه للاساتذه الاخرين اللي كاينين دابا في لافاك اللي تقبلوا في النظام الجديد. ديك السنوات ديال الاكسبيرينس ديالهم اللي دوزوا في القطاع العمومي على ما تحسباتش it did not translate لافاك جاو لافاك بحال الا بداو ازيرو. سو دابا غادي نقولوا شنو هي الاهميه ديال ديك ديال انك تمشي تخدم قبل ما دير الماستر. Two things قالهم عزيز. أول حاجة you become more mature, which is very important, not just about English studies but about life، الحياة كاملة. النقطة الثانية ملي كتسنى شوية عاد كدير الماستر you know what you want، كتعرف شنو باغي. for example دابا أنا قبل ما كنتش عارفة شنو باغي ندير، واش ندير ماستر في stylistics في syntax ولا في teaching now ولا في sociolinguistics. But now I'm confident that I would like to pursue a master's of teaching, يعني teaching English as a second language. واخا هادي عاوتاني فيها so many other branches, but still I narrowed it down to a certain field. ومن حاجة أخرى الماستر في الاسم ديالو عنده علاقة ب learning. So if you are a learning oriented student, you should consider a master's program. واللي هو مزيان. But if you are learning oriented خاصك تركزي على learning to the fullest، يعني تمشي الفوليس ديالك في learning. وهذا الشيء بعض الخطرات personally ما كيجيش نيشان الا دفعت شي حد التالي، الا دفع نيشان عفوا الماستر. So what I do recommend دابا هاد النصيحة دي اللي غنعطيكم دابا was actually handed to me by another teacher from the United States. I asked her the same exact question. I was torn between the same choices. واش انا ندفع الماستر دابا ولا ندفع الخدم شوية عاد ندفع الماستر. دابا القطاع العمومي it's out of the question، بلا ما تفعل العمومي حيتاش العمومي ما غاديش ينفعك فيه ديما الانجيجمنت ديالك في سميتو في لافاك غتكون very limited، حيتاش داك التايم تيبل ديال العمومي ما تقدريش تخرجي في اي وقت. ولكن كاين حاجه احسن اللي هي to work في مثلا في القطاع الخصوصي. ديك الساعات you do internships، مثلا شي حاجه abroad you volunteer to teach English abroad in any country. يمكن غير في مصر مثلا ولا في تركيا دوزي TESOL TOEFL CELTA certificates abroad like Turkey كتكون very affordable ولا online even sometimes it's very cheap. So ملي كدوزي مثلا واحد year ولا 2 years ديال waiting يعني you build واحد certain مثلا ماشي بروفايل ولكن كتبني راسك in general. هادشي كيخليك more ready for a master's program. So personally this is what I would do. انا كصلاح الدين هكا غادي ندير الا كنت بلاصتك كنت غنتسنى واحد شويه عاد نستعمل الماستر. ولكن الا كنت كنشوف راسي بلي هاد شويه غادي نستافد منها، غادي ندير شي حاجه that I will build a better version of myself، اما عن طريق كما قلنا الانترنشيبس ولا السيرتيفيكاتس and so on. وهذا الشيء كيبان لنا في الثقافه ديال الناس في الغرب in the west ديما عندهم what we call الجاب year. هاد الجاب year شنو كتعني؟ someone بغى يدفع الماستر ولكن باقي ما عارفش شنو باغي في الدنيا كامله. So he wants to get his or her priorities in order to know what they want, to learn more، تكون عندك شويه experience teaching not just any teaching English to teach in the kindergarten to teach high school to teach anything. تكون عندك واحد vast number ديال experiences هنا والهي هكا غادي يخليك more ready for a master's program. And personally to make it even more beneficial for you في هذا الماستر program why not consider applying for scholarships to study abroad. أنا personally know other students اللي قراو الماستر على بابا الماستر ديال research والنيفو ديالهم is way different ديال الناس اللي شادين الدكتوراه دابا في لافاك ديالنا. الماستر على بابا ماشي ديما we don't generalize، ديما كاين حالات شاده، ولكن الماستر in a different country puts so much pressure on you. So with all things being said and considered this is what I would say. شوفي البرايورتيز ديالك, شوفي what are you ready to do, and then make a decision inshallah. You can maybe ask something else, Mariam, or elaborate on this if you have something to add.
I have nothing to say, but thank you very much, Prof. Salah, Prof. Adil, and Engleasy. You really answered my questions so thoroughly. I couldn't ask for more. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you for your question. Adil, could you please let me know if we have more time? Ula, this is the end of our presentation today.
I think that's the end of the presentation. I hope it was helpful and fruitful for all. And thank you guys for your questions. By the way, some questions were really, really helping and amazing for not only for the one asking, but also for the ones attending or the ones who will see the recording after. I think it would be very, very beneficial for them. Thank you so much for your engagement. Thank you so much, Mr. Salah-Eddine, for the fruitful, insightful presentation again. And
Always
yes,
a pleasure. So thank you everyone who has been here, inshallah, and make sure to follow us, inshallah, for Instagram, maybe even Facebook and other channels, social media platforms, inshallah. You will be hearing from us almost weekly, if not daily, inshallah, to receive more tips and maybe even to start a podcast, inshallah, for students to voice their ideas, concerns, questions, inshallah, and we can invite all of you, inshallah, to join, and it will be an open space, inshallah. So stay safe, and maybe this is the end of this workshop. Thank you, everyone, and wish you good night, maybe. Okay, stay safe. Bye-bye.
thank you so much, Mr. Salah, and thank you so much for your attention, guys.
مرحبا.
That's
I
the
wanna
end.
wish نقول لكم good
See
night
you.
ولا good evening, المهم good
Well,
something.
it's a good night.
Good night, okay.
A good night here. Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Be safe and
Yeah,
see
thank you.
you
Bye-bye.
guys in another workshop.
Inshallah.